Hello. We've got a few questions in the chat. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for your interest in the teachings and your interest in practicing the Dharma, making it real in your life and in your hearts. I think it's, that's what it's all about, right? The Buddha didn't teach just to hear himself speak. He taught so that we could remove suffering from our lives and reach our very highest potential. And so he's not here right now, and so we have each other. And I'm so grateful for that. So thank you. Let's see. So I hope that there is some benefit or some help that I can give you, share with you from my experience. So the first question is, in ALO2 meditation, which I have to tell you, I don't know what that is. I've never heard that before. But why do we visualize the external ice cream and then cover it with the chocolate illumination picture to become what we want? What does the external ice cream mean? And how should we think about the external things? So even though I don't know this meditation, I can sort of guess.
Upala, dear Upala, actually she's mentioned about DCI Advanced Level 2, the meditation.
DCI. Okay, yeah, I haven't taken any DCI courses, so I'll just do my best. So if you think about all of our perceptions come to us through our sense powers, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, our fingers, our skin. And so sort of the process of perception of what it is we're perceiving is that let's take a visual perception as an example. So our eyes see colors and shapes. So what comes into us is, let's say, where's my pen? Where's my, I got to put it in front of my face. What comes through our eyes is like this long, thin shape and this color of smoky, clear, and black. That's all that comes in through our eyeball. And when what was the word you used here? The luminous picture. So the luminous picture is the ripening of the karmic seed to see this the way that we do. So I have the karma to see this as a pen. Now, if I want to see this as a stick of diamond instead of a pen, then I need to start creating the seeds to see diamond with my eyes, right? Now, is this thing going to change into a diamond? Yeah, probably not, because it already, this karma is kind of like, I mean, we talked about it in my class last night. I've made the association or the connection between the visual aspect of this thing, how this thing appears to me, and the word pen. And I've been doing that forever and ever and ever and ever, for time with no beginning, countless times. And so to change, I don't know, do you call it change that karma? It's a very strong propensity to call this thing a pen, and to change it into calling it a diamond is going to take a lot of work. I'm going to have to plant a lot of seeds and really be deliberate in how I do so. So I hope that's helpful to your questions. Yin Ying. Persis has a very serious question about an ex-partner who is violent, emotionally, and verbally. He's not keeping up his end of the bargain in terms of paying for child support or caring for their son. So, she says, sometimes I tell myself to love the person who hurt me, so I will just let it be. However, sometimes I remember that the system doesn't tell us to be bullied, but to take action. Then I would think about taking him to court. Can you help me to understand this more? How should I approach this issue? Also, I feel that he is mentally troubled. And what seed should I plant to change what I see? So the first thing I'd want to say is that when we experience things like being threatened, while it is true that that threat that we are experiencing comes from us, we created having that experience by threatening others in the past. We need to remember that that doesn't mean they can't harm us just because we created it. So what I'm trying to say is, even though things are not coming at me, they're coming from me, I need to remember that that's all I have. That's all my world is for me to experience. Is what I've created in the past. And that's what I have to work with. And I need to work with it. Even when I keep the understanding that it's coming from me, I need to protect my children. I need to protect my life as well. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Now, in terms of like what exactly to do, here's the thing. There's no right answers. None. They don't exist. What will work? I don't know. I think one of the reasons they call this practicing the teachings is that we tried different things. You know, what exactly did we do in the past to create this kind of a person in our lives? We don't know precisely. An enlightened being knows, but at our level, assuming you're like me, we don't know exactly what we did. And so we don't know exactly what to do to change the experience quickly. So think about the laws of karma, that we know the general laws that if you do things that please others, you will get a pleasant result. We know that karma grows, right? If I give Venerable Gail, say, this pen this morning, and the seed sits around for a long time, in a year, I'm going to get back, boxes of pens or something. Karma grows. If I don't want to experience the results, I shouldn't plant the seed, right? And if I've planted the seed, I am going to experience the result. But then there's also like ways that karma works that we can take advantage of. Karma, it's like we're a machine in a way. It's not that we have karma, we are karma. And so we need to work the machine. So what makes karma ripen more quickly? It's when we understand how things work, why things work. Oh, this is not what it is from its own side. It comes from me. This comes from me having helped other people communicate in the past, or I gave them a pen. So understanding that mechanism, keeping that in conscious awareness at the forefront of our minds, we say in English, as we act in the world, in whatever we do, makes our actions create a more powerful seed. Having the motivation in the morning, especially, wake up, may everything I do today be of the highest benefit to whoever I talk to whoever sees me on the street, to whoever mentions my name, to whoever hears my voice or hears me moving around the kitchen or whatever. If we set the motivation that everything I do today is for the benefit of others, that they no longer have suffering and that they reach the highest goals, that makes what I do during the day more powerful, because I've set that motivation firmly in my mind. I keep firmly in my mind the mechanism of how this machine works. And now, like in your example there, Persis, if you want to, think clearly about what it is you want to see. And define it. And there was a group of us who wanted to try an experiment with working with karma. And we knew a person who was having a hard time getting angry very easily, someone who's a practitioner that we know. And so it was like, oh, he's having a very hard time. And so we look to see, because we all know that this is our past actions ripening in front of us, right? From each of our perspectives, we looked at the situation to examine what it is that's going on and like what the problem might be, what the thing might be, what part of the teaching might be forgotten in the moment that allowed the anger to arise. Like, what is the thing that if I remembered this right now, I would be able to not get angry, right? Like we were talking about in Gibson's text. So we thought about, oh, I need to know about this teaching about the perfection of not getting angry. And then we each looked in our own lives and our own experience. What are the times in my life where I applied this teaching? What was going on? Who was it with? What happened? How did I apply the teaching? And how did it function in controlling me, being able to control myself? So we each thought about that, and then we shared with each other. Oh, this time here I was in this situation and this person walked in the room and I did this. So we each shared those times, and then we rejoiced about it. How wonderful. Here's a specific instance where I was able to apply the teachings. And then we dedicated it. May this experience, or these experiences, because we're each sharing, may these experiences result in us seeing no one get angry ever again. May that be the end of anger. That's it, finished, done. So we met a few times over, I don't know, a few days. And golly, if we didn't change our experience. That person, it was like something just felt like whatever obstacle it was from being able to not get angry was gone. And they were the most pleasant and calm and composed person ever. Now, can I say definitely that our group, what we did was the cause of this person no longer getting angry? No, I cannot. I am not an enlightened being. Can I say that my experience was that we did this, and then I had a different experience of this person later? That I kept these things in mind about the machine, how the machine works, and that I applied them very purposely. I could say, well, that's my experience. So you could give that a try. If you know this person well, so maybe something about like what his issue may be, and you can think in your own life about times you have worked karma successfully about that issue. Be very deep, very specific, very detailed, and rejoice and dedicate towards that person being, kind or friendly or loving or whatever it is you want to see, like that. I hope that's helpful. Oh, and that's a very difficult question. How does the Penn explanation vary depending on which school you're applying? I'm interested in the difference between the mind-only explanation and the lower middle way. Uh, I I only know at a rather superficial level. So that's the only way I'll be able to address it. So from mind only point of view, there's a, as we talked about last night, there's this long-standing mental habit of calling this thing a pen. And so when this propensity ripens into an experience, it ripens into me, it ripens into this thing in my hand, and it ripens into me experiencing it. So it's all my, it's all coming from that seed. There's nothing outside. It's all coming from this seed that ripens from my mind. From the lower middle way perspective, I mean, I need to study the lower middle way more because I have this sort of crazy idea that it seems like a step backwards. You know, that's it. Mind only seems so very close to higher middle way, so very close. And then lower middle way says, well, hang on a minute, hold on. There's got to be something about this thing that suggests pen. There has to be something coming this way, or something about this that's pen, a little bit pen, and they have to come together. They have to meet. So this idea of pen coming here and this karma ripening of experiencing a pen, you know, they have to match. And then you have like a correct identification and experience of a pen. And they, you know, they do say that the dog is going to see the chew toy because there's something about this thing that has chew toy in it as well. And there's something about this thing that has stick of diamond in it too. But I don't have the karma that matches it. That's my superficial brush. Okay. And this is from Shijin. Why is it said that the archetype is transient and unchanging? Those two words don't seem to match. So transient means it's not permanent. Transient means it lasts only for a short time. Is that? So why does the archetype last for only a short time, but is unchanging? How does my consciousness make the archetype of car from the first car. If at the first time my mom pointed at a car and told me wrongly it's a ship, then how does my consciousness work? So this is, when we use the word archetype, that's usually, that's coming from the Sutra philosophical school, the one that we're using for Adam's text. When we talk about whether something is an archetype or a manifestation of something. And our mental picture, the archetype, the idea, the mental concept, pen or car, is the ripening of a karmic seed. I think we have to remember that all the Buddhist philosophical schools hold that there is no beginning to time. There's no first time. There may be a first time in this life, but there's not a first time in I say this life, in this personality's life, in this particular combination of personality and body and mind. But this life, if you think about it, you step back out of this personality and this particular combination of skin and bones. Life has, there was no first moment of life. There's no last moment of life. It just has no beginning, has no end. So I don't know if you can say the first time you ever saw a car. But, if your mom tells you that a car is a ship, it depends on what your karma is, right? It may be that you call it a ship for like the first 5 years of this particular life, this personality, body, bag of bones. You call it a ship. Look, mommy, ship. And then the first day you go to school with other kids and you say, look, that's my favorite ship. And they're all like, laughing at you. That's not a ship, that's a car. And you hear that enough times and you get very embarrassed. And you go home, mommy, is it a ship or a car? People say it's a car. Then, like either mom figures out, oops, I made a mistake. It really is called car. And then you call it a car. But there's nothing about the thing that's car. There is no thing called car. It's just a word. It's just a label. It's just an idea. How does consciousness work? Well, my goodness. I really don't. I mean, it's a really good question. Because all consciousness is being aware. Clear and aware. conscious of, aware of. And so what we experience, what our awareness, what we are aware of is like coming through these particular portals or doors of sense, they call them, of this bag of bones. And so what we can experience or be conscious of is very limited. My eyes can only see a certain range of color. They can only see a certain distance away. They can't see back here. They only point this way. So if I want to see something over there, I got to move my head. I'm very limited in what I can experience based on this bag of bones. And so I could be like a bird. We know that, like, for example, that they've done these scientific experiments where they've figured out what colors birds see. And they see color much differently than human beings see color. And they've created these pictures that simulate what the world looks like to birds. And it's like, wow, it's so colorful and beautiful. And it's so different than what I experience. So consciousness is just clear and aware. And there's nothing that could limit what it could be aware of other than what we create the causes for. So because we know how the machine works, we can create the causes to experience diamond sticks or, a beautiful, colorful world, or people who are generous and friendly and loving everywhere we go. That, oh, the color blue tastes delicious. Right? We can experience anything. I hope that helps. And I'll come back to your question later. I want to give other people opportunity, if that's okay. Elmira asks, there are 3 appearances of blue. There's being blue. There's being seen as blue, visibility, and started as blue. How can the 3rd position be understood? Okay, so these are just 3 examples. The first one, being blue, is its essential, so-called essential nature. It's ngol. So this is according to what we've been studying in the mind-only school, right? Or I should step back and say, KJ, who's a higher middle way practitioner, is writing about what Jason Kappa, a higher middle way practitioner, said about the mind-only school. So we have to keep all that in mind. So that's its essential nature, is blue. This is blue. I don't have anything blue. Oh, yes, I do. No, that's purple. Sorry, I don't have anything blue to hold up. But anyway, this is a visible thing. Yeah. So Catherine's holding a blue thing, and it's visible. It's something that can be seen as opposed to heard or tasted. She's touching it, but I think she's touching cup and not blue. But anyway, now starting is blue. Well, we just experienced the stopping. We no longer see blue. Catherine put the cup down and blue stopped. So it started when she picked it up, and my eye was looking away, so I missed the starting. So your starting, if you were looking at Catherine, was at a different time than my starting, because I was looking over here and turned my head. And that's the characteristic of that blue. Does that help? I mean, generally, when Arya Nagarjuna, for example, in his book on wisdom, he talks about how things starting, things staying, and things stopping. I should use these three. And that's like in general the way we talk about things that change. They come into existence, they exist for a while, and then they stop existing. So that's just when they talk about, hey, what's a characteristic mean of a thing? They say, oh yeah, it's the starting and the staying and the stopping. I hope that helps.
Starting and stopping, right?
What's that?
It's just like a process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Jasmine asks, can those who see emptiness plant a soulmate seed to have a soulmate in a month? I'm going to say something funny. Show me where your soul is. Okay, never mind. I know what you mean. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. Is it likely? I have not. What does it depend on for a karmic seed to ripen into an experience? Remembering that we have lived countless lives. How many seeds have we planted to have the experience of a soulmate? And how deeply or how strongly did we plant them? How strong are those seeds? How clear is our understanding of emptiness? How well are we keeping our vows? How skillfully are we creating causes for a partner? Are we helping the little old lady who's in a nursing home and lonely? Are we helping her just so we can get a partner? Or do we get that my experience of a little old lady sitting alone in a room and being lonely? That's me. I created that. And I can't stand to see that exist in my world anymore. I can't stand to see lonely people. There's so many of us. We can all be with each other. We can all love each other. We can all help each other. Is that the motivation? No more loneliness, period. That may be a stronger motivation than a partner. I want a partner. So yeah, it's possible. Possible. And there's something, I can't remember what text it was from, but years ago, studying bodhisattvas, there was this idea that bodhisattvas act in the world without concern for result. They are 100% concentrated on creating causes. That's it. I'm creating causes, I'm creating causes, I'm creating causes. I'm not looking for results. I'm creating causes. I'm creating causes. When that focus goes off of, I want to experience this result, and goes on to, I want to create the causes for this to happen everywhere, for everybody, things happen quickly. We have to take ourselves, this little me, this cause of all of our problems, and crush it. We have to we have to broaden our motivation. I don't know. I hope that helps. Claudia says, in my experience as a nun, do I have an advice on how to protect life when there's a difficult situation? Oh, a dog with ticks stuck to her, and we didn't notice till later. I know there's a way to take them out from the dog so it does not hurt the ticks. But what to do after I take them out? Normally, if we put them in the park or in nature around a lonely place in the city, they are going to stick to someone else. And it's kind of animal can transmit diseases. What do you think to see to experience that kind of situation, and how can I change it? Yeah, that's a very tough one. So we've got this poor being who her life is just about sucking blood from other people or other beings. And this being has to find ways to harm. This being can only exist through harming others, stealing from others, taking their life force. Man, what an awful situation. And isn't that the one we're all in? Really? We're almost forced to hurt people, to grow our food. Forget, even if we're vegetarian, to grow our food, we're killing beings when we harvest it, when we clean it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no way to be perfect in protecting life until you create the causes to be able to be perfect in protecting life. And so just do what you're able to, what your experience allows you to do. It's like we have this saying, I can only do the best that I can do. At the moment, that best may change over time because of my practice. I may be able to do more better later because I've created the cause to do more and better. So do the best you can to protect life. You know, you're protecting your dog. You want to protect other people. You want to protect that little tick from creating the karma to experience that kind of life over and over, right? Of harming people. So motivation is very important. And then and rejoicing in what you're able to do and dedicating it. Those are very important aspects to creating the karma for things. That's how this machine works. Motivation, action, rejoicing, and dedication. I hope that helped. I wish there were like a right answer. Just do this and it's fine. Find ways to, if you can't protect the tick's life, find another life you can't protect and dedicate it towards beings like that beings like ticks, finding some other way to exist than harming people. You know, be creative in your motivation and your dedication and what you do. You can take anything you do and turn it into a powerful practice. I mean, we kind of think that, oh, practice is just about like when I'm on the cushion or when I've got some big important thing to do. But no, you can make walking down the street a powerful practice. I'm being aware as I walk down the street of the beings I can see. I know I can't see all beings, but I can see ants and I can see spiders and so on. I'm in the desert, right? So we've got a lot of those crawling around. And as each step is protecting life, each step, and may that protect all life. So walking half a block can create huge amount of karma. I think that's what the bodhisattvas are, is very skillful in every moment, using it as working the machine, just working the machine. Michael asks, does the shape and color come from the seed too? Or it's just that our eyes can catch it. So yeah, there's nothing that does not come from seeds. Or everything comes from seeds. A little more powerful to say there is nothing that does not come from seeds. I mean, that's a great meditation. There's this meditation called it's called Namkatadu. It's empty space-like meditation. And you picture yourself lying on the ground in a nice meadow under a tree, or maybe not under a tree because you want to see the sky. You're on a nice meadow and you look up and this is all in your meditation. And you look up and you can see, you have super sight and you can see out into space. So you just be in outer space, black space, empty space. And then you come in a little and you look at the sky, our atmosphere, our tiny little atmosphere over the earth. And you contemplate how that is empty And then you consider how everything, the meadow underneath you, the sensation of the meadow underneath your back, in the back of your legs, and the sound of the birds, and the sweet smell of flowers nearby, and how all of those things, how none of those things is not coming from you, like that. Svetlana asks, how could we enhance our coffee meditation and dedicate good seeds to make better intellectual understanding of emptiness and seeing emptiness directly, to make it much closer to the current moment? How could we better and stronger purify the obstacles from direct perception of emptiness? So thinking about, coffee meditation is super, super important, or the rejoicing aspect over good things we have done. So, and thank you for bringing this up, because I should be doing this like every night after classes, is rejoicing in any time in my experience that I can remember where I have helped someone understand something. Anytime I've done that, whether it was teaching someone how to play piano, or helping someone whose birth language is different from mine, helping them read English, or any little thing, how to work, like, oh, this particular kitchen gadget, it works like this. Anytime I've helped someone understand something, think about those things, those times, and then rejoice that I helped someone understand something, and dedicate it towards everyone having pure understanding, that no one have misunderstanding, that misunderstanding, poof, it's gone from the world by what I've done. So really make it powerful, 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 by how detailed you are in your remembrance of what you've done, and then in how big you make your dedication. Find opportunities to teach what you know to others when they want to know it, right? We don't like smarty pants. And then the other aspect is not just the understanding of the intellectual material, but it's the ability to keep our mind single pointed on an object, without distraction and for as long as we want to. We have to be at that place in our meditation in order to see emptiness directly. And so to be able to meditate like that, we need to, to support that, we should be keeping our ethical vows purely, and cleaning away any obstacles we have created through breaking vows. And we need to behave in an ethical way with other people. Refrain ourselves from doing any little thing that would harm someone else or create an uncomfortable situation for ourselves in the future. Because meditation requires this peaceful, calm platform. And it's very difficult to get there when we're not behaving well. Oh gosh, we're at 8 o'clock already. And there's 35 new messages. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to everyone's questions. I hope that these questions were helpful to you, or this discussion. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your dedication, for your practice. Thank your families for allowing you to spend the time to be here. I'm grateful for Geshe Michael for clearly teaching for us. I'm grateful for all the other translators. I'm grateful for all those who are translating my very fast, speaking into languages you can understand. I'm very grateful for everyone who makes sure that the Zoom thing works for all of us. I'm very grateful that, for Apple and for whoever it is that created your computer or your phone or whoever that allows you for us to connect. We're all over the world. It's amazing. We're on different sides of the planet and we're connecting. It's just really, 50 years ago, this could not have happened. This is new. We created this. It's amazing. Rejoice, be happy. And I could go on and on, but then we would be here until the next class and we need a break. Okay. Thank you very much. Take good care. Thank you again for your practice, and see you later.